Presentation of FSN Pittsburgh.
Off days are hard to come by during a big league baseball season, and unfortunately, today's open date on the schedule got washed away due to the torrential rains of Wednesday night at PNC Park. For the Cubs, the Berg is an unwelcome pit stop on their way from Houston to Milwaukee. After another series loss against the Astros this weekend, they'll give the ball to one of the most surprising success stories of the 2010 season, Carlos Silva, who has yet to lose in Cubby Blue. The Bucks are hoping to rebound from yesterday's extra inning loss to the San Francisco Giants. With the newest Pirate on the mound, lefty Dana Evelyn makes his first start in the black and gold. It's early, but it's dry. The Cubs and Pirates are next on FSN.
I skipped school for this game.
Okay, we won't tell anybody, but glad you did. And the Pirates and the Chicago Cubs are meeting unscheduled game between the Buccos and the Chicago Cubs because of Wednesday afternoon's rain out. This is the concluding game now of a 6-game homestand. Pirates would love to win it. That means they would go 4-2 in the 6 games and had a chance for a win yesterday, Steve Blass. And they came back. They were down 2 runs, bottom of the 9th inning against a real tough closer, the Giants' Brian Wilson. Down to their last strike. Man on, pinch hitter Delwyn Young. It's the 2-run homer to tie it, but the Pirates end up losing it in 10.
Is there anything more exciting than having one of your guys do exactly what Delwyn Young did? Hits the ball over the fence when a lot of people are heading for the exits. Really jump-started everybody. The Pirates back even with the Giants. It didn't hold up, but what a special moment for Delwyn Young. And by the way, he'll be back in the starting lineup this afternoon.
Well, the Pirates are 7-1 this year against the Chicago Cubs. They're 5-0 here at PNC Park.
Why? We'll take a look at the numbers. When you hit like that against a certain club and you pitch like that against a particular club, well, you're going to have those kind of results. So far, so good. We got to do it one more day.
Steve, getting a chance with the National League once again is Dana Evelyn, one-time draft pick of the Milwaukee Brewers. Dana Evelyn was acquired last week from the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, we don't know a heck of a lot about him, but standard package, fastball, curve, slider, changeup, and cutter. Left-hander, got off to a real good start with Toronto, so we're going to see what we're going to get from Dana Evelyn. A left-hander, he's upright. Hey, you never know about these lefties.
Well, you never know about who you might find anywhere. Carlos Silva came over from the Seattle Mariners in the Milton Bradley deal, and look what he has done. A lot of people thought he was washed up. Anything but. The right-hander 7-0 with a 3.12 ERA.
He is fabulous, and a couple things you need to know about Carlos Silva. He has one of the best changeups in the business, and he has fabulous control, so the Pirate batters going to have to be ready this afternoon.
Pirates are ready. Hope you are too. Yeah, the mustaches, well, they started growing them about a week ago. A win today, and the stashes are 4-2. Buccos and the Chicago Cubs getting ready to play ball. Next.
For the achiever in us all, by Barrel Automotive. Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. And by your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward.
And welcome back to PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Lou Pinella's Chicago Cubs coming to town, and we'll take a look at the starting lineup. It's brought to you by Toyota moving forward. Pinella's Cubbies at 25 and 31 on the year. Ryan Theriot will lead things off, and it's Jeff Baker and Derek Lee. Xavier Nady, the former Pirate, 7 for 19 against his former mates on the year. Marlon Byrd is the center fielder. Then it's Alfonso Soriano. Giovanni Soto, the catcher. Starlin Castro, the rookie shortstop, with Carlos Silva, the veteran right-hander, on the hill.
And we're looking forward to seeing what we're going to get from Dana Eveland. Actually got off to a terrific start with Toronto. The first 3 starts after the dust settled after those first 3, had an ERA of 1.93, but it got away from him, and now he will be out here with his 16 and 21 loss career mark, making his first start as a Pirate.
And underway with strike one. Trying to get as many nuggets on Eveland as we can. We've been told that, boy, and you know, this is Joe Kerrigan. He has talked about this a lot this season, but strike one imperative for Eveland to get that first pitch over, and it is for anybody.
Yep.
1 ball, 1 strike to count on Ryan Theriot.
26 years old, grew up in Olympia, Washington, but then spent a lot of his early years in California.
Just low and in, 2 balls and a strike.
Listening to one of the Toronto broadcasts, a recording of that, really raving about his off-speed pitch, the changeup.
Fly ball to right field. Over is Delwyn Young, nearing the corner, and he can't make the catch. And he gets to it quickly enough that Theriot is held to a double. Ball held up there a long time, and Delwyn Young not able to get there.
Oh, right-hand batter slicing the ball just inside the chalk. A long trip for Delwyn. And then, yeah, that could have very easily been 3 bases if he gets up and doesn't find the ball very quickly, but he does the recovery quite well. The Cubs in business right off the bat, literally. Instant action. You want to start after that pinch hit home run?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Careful what you wish for.
Jeff Baker at the plate now. Takes ball 1. Steve, what about, you know, here you are, you're a veteran pitcher, but all of a sudden you are thrown out there. You've been around the big leagues a long time. Here's Dana Eveland, new town, new teammates. Hasn't been in the National League for a while, since, 2007. So many of these hitters he's going to rely on Jaramillo. So it's a lot of stuff thrown at you, right?
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. It's got to be very uncomfortable to come over, and what you want to try to do, and the whole circumstance is kind of surreal today, with both these teams scheduled to be off and this game not supposed to be happening. And then you throw him into the mix, not knowing what you're going to get from Dana. And yeah, it's kind of a disjointed kind of preparation.
And the runner takes off for third. Jaramillo guns it, but it's another stolen base. And Ryan Theriot, his 10th steal.
Yeah, and that one, very honestly, gave Jaramillo no chance to get him. Watch the break. He is 6 or 7 steps in full stride before the ball is released, and that gives the catcher no chance.
Well, that is a sore spot for the Pirates. The stolen base against them this year continues to plague them. 5 stolen bases versus Pittsburgh yesterday. And a liner towards center. Here comes McCutchen. He will make the catch. It'll be a sacrifice fly. Wait.
They want to go to third base. They want to repeat.
Or tag the guy. Safe there. The home plate umpire didn't give any indication. That's why I was wondering whether they could have just tagged him. Because Theriot, one of those slides that's become so popular, so in vogue this year, the last couple of years, rather than sliding right for the corner of the plate, he slides past it and then slaps it with his hand. And the home plate umpire didn't give any indication whether he was safe or out, but he did apparently slip it. There you see the home plate umpire, Mike DeMuro.
Yeah, that was an interesting case of timing for Theriot, because you don't know if the ball is going to fall in for a base hit. He comes back eventually and tags up as he should.
A 1-0 lead for the Cubs. Double, stolen base, sacrifice fly.
And one of the reasons they wanted the appeal, usually the guy is standing on the base, and it's just a matter of when he takes off. But when he has to come back for the quick tag, sometimes you'll question it.
Fly ball, left center. Millage is right there. That's where Millage was playing, in that left center gap. For the second out. Let's watch again, Steve. Ryan Theriot.
Yeah, see, he's going to come down the line when the ball is hit, and then watch it, and then he's got to come back to quick tag. So the timing is involved there, and that's sometimes why you will appeal and question whether he left early after that quick retreat back to third base.
That was just a curious thing for Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire, to give no signal, nothing, not even a casual safe.
We've had a few issues with that situation at home plate with Mr. McClellan.
Xavier Nady takes high. Tim McClellan the other day gave a sign that we've not seen before. Tim Welke is the first base umpire, Jim Reynolds at second, and Bill Welke at third. The umpiring crew staying over in that giant series. 1 ball, 1 strike on Xavier Nady.
And just getting back to Evelyn, but all things considered, it's got a whole new atmosphere around him. So important for him to get to the ballpark today and just kind of put a delay on all that kind of stuff as he limits the damage here in the first inning. So not all that bad after the leadoff double.
Half inning, Cubs have a 1-0 lead. Bucks come to bat.
Monday afternoon lineup with Andrew McCutchen leading off, and it's Neil Walker, Delwyn Young, Garrett Jones has done very good work against the Cubs. Millage, Crosby, Jaramillo, Cedeno, and Dana Evelyn against this right-hander, Carlos Silva. And what a story, as Greg said, he has become 7-0. He's been around. He's won 67 major league games, but again, great control, great changeup. He's been on a run.
Kind of a ho-hum deal. With Milton Bradley going to the Mariners. They're just looking for a way to get rid of Bradley, and the Mariners likewise figured they were finished with Silva, who was 1-3 with an 8.60 ERA in 8 appearances last season. In fact, in 2 years with the Mariners, he went 5-18. A one-time Philly
and Twin.
Good years with the Twins, a couple of good seasons.
Well, yeah, you come up with that career record of 67 and 64, above 500. But the control is what jumps out at me. He started 10 games. He's walked 11 batters, second only to Doc Holliday of the Phillies. Last time out, terrific work against the Cardinals, just missing there. 7 scoreless innings, giving up 2 hits to a very good hitting ball club.
In 2005, sorry, Steve, in 2005 with the Twins, he was one of the big stories in terms of control. He threw 188 innings and walked 9 batters that year. in 2005. 9 walks. And down on strikes is McCutcheon on the fastball. McCutcheon down swinging after going 0 for 5 yesterday. Silva gets him. Fastball away.
Among other things, too, the Cubbies have done well supporting him offensively, so he's had some runs to work with. Just 1-0 in 5 appearances against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He wasn't thrilled that he was the odd man out in the rotation. There's a line drive right center field. Neil Walker will get at least 2, and he's going to hold there with a 1-out double. And Neil Walker just continues to step right up there and rake. That's exactly right. The raker.
We'll start calling him Neil Raker.
Yep. This is his 15th hit now, and this is 12th game, and 5 of them are doubles, plus a triple and a home run.
Nothing cheap about that one. You could hear the crack of the bat well up here.
Neil Walker, the 2-base hit. And now the batter, Delwyn Young. Walker again, 5 doubles already. And this is 12th game.
Well, your approach when you go up against a guy with that good a control numbers and that good a control reputation, you've got to be ready early in the count, because you are going to be behind if you wait around.
Fly ball to right. Nady in. Watch Nady's arm. It might come into play, but he is continuing to come along very slowly with the Tommy John surgery, the elbow ligament replacement surgery. So you'll, no question, test Xavier Nady on fly balls to medium depth right field. Now, when he's healthy, he's got a strong arm, as the Pirate fans saw, but slowly coming back. Garrett Jones hitting .467 against Cubs pitching this season. A couple of former Twins products here. Garrett Jones against Carlos Silva. Jones was 2 for 3, plus a pair of walks, a home run, and a double yesterday. The home run, his 8th of the season. And we'll be checking out the Coors Light Cold Hard Glass in the 4th inning off Tim Lincecum. This home run will tie the game at 2 in the 4th. Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And chopped toward the second baseman, Terrio on the first. So Walker doubles, he's stranded. We have played one this makeup game. Pirates Cubs 1-0 Chicago. Glad you asked. A good word comes from both Neil Huntington and Brad Lincoln. Yesterday on his radio show, Neil Huntington said this: "We feel Brad needs continued development, but that competing at the major league level is an important next step in his progress. That next step could come as soon as Wednesday." Brad Lincoln, when told of that, said it would be awesome. "I've worked really hard to get to this point, and I'd be thrilled if they brought me up. I'll be ready." Well, he will be pitching on Wednesday night, barring anything unforeseen. This ball lined into center field. McCutcheon will cut it off, and Marlon Byrd, he continues to torture left-hand pitching this season. One of the few bright spots for the Cubs this year. Marlon Byrd tied for 7th in the league in hitting overall and batting .400 against lefties. So it's an interesting week, an exciting week, what with Dana Evelyn making his Pirates debut today. Tonight, of course, the draft. And Neil Huntington pretty much yesterday on his radio show narrowed it down to 3 potential players, including the shortstop Manny Machado, a high school pitcher, and a college pitcher. Alfonso Soriano takes up and in. Then tomorrow night, we'll be there along with the rest of the nation watching Steven Strasburg make his major league debut in front of a sellout crowd. Jeff Karstens will get the call for the Buccos. And Wednesday night, Brad Lincoln will make his major league debut. And then following the Thursday evening game, the concluding game in our nation's capital, Zach Duke on the hill against J.D. Martin. Pirates begin interleague play and take on the Tigers in Detroit, Jim Leland's club, before returning here a week from tomorrow against the Chicago White Sox. Real interesting couple of weeks ahead for these Pirates.
Nothing new for Jeff Karstens being matched up in kind of a marquee type of a thing. Remember when he went against Randy Johnson?
That's right.
Great ball game. What, into the 8th inning, that perfect game?
I've heard the debate over the last 24 hours now since Neil Huntington said that yesterday on the radio show, that it's likely that Lincoln will start on Wednesday rather than Tuesday. Some people suggesting that Pirates are making a mistake not starting Lincoln against Strasburg in ball 4. Runners at first and second. I don't get that. I just think the Pirates have to. What's best for Brad Lincoln? They think they had a good shot at beating the Washington Nationals on Wednesday. They think that's a good matchup. They think Karstens will do well on Tuesday. Then why not? Here's Giovanni Soto with runners at first and second. Soriano, the free pass, and those walks have been an issue for Dana Evelyn.
Well, his fastball is of the sinking variety. It's, a la Mahalam and Duke and Burris. Turns it over, so that lends itself to ground balls. Certainly could use one right here.
0-1 on Giovanni Soto. He will hit into his share of double plays. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two years ago, Rookie of the Year, bounce back season in 2010 with that 5 homers, 254. Slipped over the last couple of weeks. And a balk is called. No, thought I heard a balk call.
Call a balk at second.
Somebody from the bench was yelling it. And they will get the man on the pickoff. Somebody from the Cubs bench yells balk.
Yep, that happens all the time.
And a balk is called.
Could have also heard step off too.
Call. That's true.
Call a balk at second.
You see the runner Marlon Byrd is picked off, and the runner Soriano, Steve, stays at first base in the rundown. So,
well, Evelyn does the right thing after he makes the initial play. Go over and cover third base in case you're needed, and he was needed indeed.
Whacked in the head.
Yep. And they get the guy, but what you want is the minimum number of throws in the rundown. What's the minimum? What's the ideal number? 0. No throws. Chase a guy until he commits.
So that was okay that they got him, but they could have minimized the throws, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And it's not a factor there because you get him, and you got lucky because Soriano was, I don't know what he was doing. other than not much.
2-1 count on Soto.
So yeah, the
2-2.
everybody wants to run on the Pirates, and that time they're a little too anxious.
Soriano has
He will
3
run.
steals.
He'll run.
And now he'll be running for sure here. High percentage shot that he'll be taking off with 1 away. A count of 3-2. There he goes, and it's lined into right. Past Garrett Jones. This will put runners at first and third. Base hit for Soto on the 3-2 pitch. Moves Soriano to third base with 1 out. Giovanni Soto lines it just past Garrett Jones. So Soriano on the Soto single goes to third easily. And the batter is Starlin Castro. Hitting .280 his rookie season with 13 RBIs, infield at double play depth. And the fastball misses high.
We talked about Eveland and what he did with Toronto. His first start against Baltimore, 7 1/3, 5 hits, scoreless. Next against the White Sox, 6 innings, just 3 hits and 2 runs. And then a couple runs in his next start against Kansas City. This is outside there, 2-0. So his first 3 starts, he was 2-0 with an ERA under 2, and then it just really got away from him. Did have one more good start again against the White Sox early May, where he went 7 scoreless innings. So he wound up 3-4, high ERA with Toronto, but there were bits and pieces where he did some pretty good pitching. For whatever reason, left-handers seem to get a longer look than right-handers. When you hear that phrase all the time. He's left-handed, he's upright, he's got a chance to be a good pitcher in the big leagues. I mean, it's just not an original phrase. You just hear it all the time. And these guys a little bit longer leash.
Broken bat might be tough to double up. There's one, and boy, he's playing second base like he's been playing it for a dozen years.
Yep.
Neil Walker.
And when the runner stops, sometimes they'll fall into the trap of going to first base, but that was too close to second. If he throws to first before he tags him, then you're going to have a runner at second base. So he made the right decision as well as the physical part. play because the ball is hit to him. It's not hit sharply, so he's got to deal with the runner. Comes in, keep going. If we can keep going right there, and he makes the tag rather than stop the runner and then throw it and then try to get him out at second base.
Well, I guess you got to have an idea, Steve, about how much time you have to unload that throw, right?
Well, not only
Watching
time, but how close that runner from first base was to second. So if he stops him and just makes him stop and then throws the ball without tagging him, then the guy's going to waltz into second base. So he had to make sure of the runner from first.
Lastings Village, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, if the guy's halfway between first and second, yeah, you can stop him, throw to first, still have time to throw the ball back to second and get him. Didn't have time to do that because he was too close to second.
Bounce back to Silva.
Get more of an idea. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And right there, stop it, because you've got that line there. And if you throw to first, you go over here, this guy's going to come around and be safe at second base. That's not a great example, but the fact that he was closer to second made him decide to do what he did. Boy, that's a lot of talking for that way. Wow. Greg.
A lot of work.
Take over.
Take a break, will you?
Got the double play. 4-3. Way it went down.
Strike is called. That was a big double play. It was because, and the other thing too, Steve, it does save a run by tagging him first. That's the other key to that play. If he doesn't tag him and you throw to first base, it takes the force out. The runner third then scores.
That's right. Yeah.
So a lot of good things from Neil Walker. Very athletic, quick.
And there was no way to do the double play conventional style because it was not hit sharply enough.
Still 1-2 on Bobby Crosby.
Fear of the stash.
Fans getting into the stash.
All right. Is that like that Super Mario game?
I think so. It's exactly what it is. Yep.
That looks like Mike Maddox pitching coach.
Still 1 ball, 2 strikes on Crosby with 1 out in the second inning and a 1-0 lead for the Cubs.
That one of the things with Silva with his good changeup, you will see some comfortable outs because you see guys go out in front and they've got nothing left on the swing. All they have is their arms left. So you will see good changeup pitchers create a lot of kind of comfortable pop flies, easy ground balls.
Silva, non-drafted free agent, signed by the Philadelphia Phillies in 1996. Dealt to the Twins along with Nick Punto in the Eric Milton deal of 2003.
And interestingly enough, there have been 3 times now in his career he started out seasons at least 5-0. He did it back in 2002 with the Phillies, in 2004 Minnesota, 5-0 both of those years, and now 7-0. So it's the 3rd time where he's really gotten out of the chute.
Now that first year with the Phillies in 2002 as a rookie when he started out 5-0, that was as a reliever, making 68 relief appearances for Philadelphia. Ended up having his season disrupted, the sprained ligament in his right knee. Still 3-2 on Bobby Crosby, who has had a lot of experience against Silva. Their years in the American League, Crosby with the A's and Silva with the Twins. Bobby Crosby has 26 at-bats against Silva, 5 hits, a 192 career average. Fouling off a number of pitches here in the second. The 12th pitch of this at-bat coming to Bobby Crosby. And he will be retired on the ground ball to Baker.
reading that Ken Holtzman started the 1967 season with the Cubs 9-0. Holtzman did some good work with the Cubbies for many years.
You had a history with Holtzman, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes. Hit my only home run against Ken Holtzman. Back on Maz's birthday. We all know Maz's birthday very well after the weekend, don't we? Promoting the statue.
Yes.
Sale of the Leafs. I'm going to get mine. September 5th. Maz going to be 74 years young.
That's when they'll dedicate the statue. Jaramillo getting the start behind the plate this afternoon game. 0-2 the count.
You know, I had a great line. I had the occasion to have dinner with famous Amos, the cookie guy. And he's older now. People ask him, how old are you? He says, my age is none of my business. Not your business. It's none of my business.
It's perfect.
That's a great way to phrase it.
Yep. Nobody's business, including your own. Steve Reich, 3 on Jaramillo. 1-2-3 go the Pirates after 2 innings. It's a 1-0 Chicago lead. History brought to you by Day Automotive. June 7, 1969, Steve Blass, a complete game in Atlanta, defeats the Braves 10-2. At the plate, Steve Blass goes 2 for 4 and scores 2 runs. Roberto Clemente was 4 for 5 with a 3-run homer in the 9th inning. Thank you, Day Automotive. What a day it was, as Silva lifts one to pretty deep right center field over the head of Delwyn Young. And Silva thought about a double, but the big man decides, nope, I'll settle for a single, a long single over the head of the right fielder.
And it looked like Delwyn Young thought he had it measured, and it just kept on going, and he didn't have it measured. Ball is well hit. A lot of carry to that ball. So leadoff action for the Cubs in the first 3 innings, each inning. Action.
Second hit of the year for Carlos Silva. His first hit in the last 14 at-bats. His other single came April the 16th against the Houston Astros. Felipe Paulino lined sharply foul. So, Steve, back to this Day Automotive, this day in Pirates history, 41 years ago, Fulton County. Pirates beat the Braves by a score of 10-2. And Steve pitches the complete game victory. 6 hits over 9 innings, strikes out 6. And then at the plate goes 2 for 4, scores 2.
Well, you should win when you get 10 runs, shouldn't you?
Ball popped up. Shallow right.
That's a problem.
Yes, it is. Delwyn Young. Luckily, Silva is running, and also luckily in that Cedeno makes a nice pick.
Well, yeah, and there's nothing Silva could do. I mean, he had to wait. That ball should have been caught.
It's an easy pop up, but you have an inexperienced, for the most part, right fielder in Delwyn Young.
You're right. Nice pick by Cedeno to save the day. Play going 9-6.
Yeah, if there's anybody else running, there's runners at first and second. But Pirates get a break.
They list Silva at 235, so it takes him a while to get the engine going. Get some umpires in the crowd or in the dugout. Everybody calling balk all afternoon.
Jeff Baker. Terrio on at first. Terrio stole his 10th base. Stole third base in the first inning. 10 steals in 11 attempts for Ryan Terrio. Opponents have swiped 51 bases. 9 have been caught against the Pirates. Our buddy David Jaros, by the way, sent along that this day in Pirates history, and we thank David for that.
Yeah.
Big baseball fan, Pirate fan, baseball historian, and he wanted to know in his email to us if you ever recall Steve getting more hits in a game than Roberto, and if so,
yes.
Oh, really?
Yep. That game against Kenny Holtzman, I went 4 for 5.
How about that? There's the answer. And did you ever pull Roberto aside just for the fun of it and let him know that you had more hits?
No.
No. Blas's stashes.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, I think
guess I'm going to have to start
I
one,
guess
huh?
so. You've got a week. We're hitting the road. We'll look for you next Tuesday.
Do we have some just for men that...
Ask Keith Hernandez.
Yep, that black paint.
Line, fair. And it'll take forever because Millage is way into left center field. And this is a situation that will burn the Pirates. You win some, you lose some when you take away that left center gap. And in this case, no chance. Runner scores easily. No play. Baker into second with a double.
Just inside the line, and then it was no contest to get around from first base. It's going to take a while before you get Lastings into your picture right there. There's the baseball, and you're going to have a left fielder coming into the picture at some point. But,
you know, that's a situation where the third baseman or the shortstop, I mean, if the Pirates are going to keep doing that, of course, Jack Wilson was great at that, Steve, when the ball got kicked up there, that short fence. It's almost like you have to immediately sprint out there to try and retrieve it. A 2-0 lead now for the Cubs. And this ball hit to Cedeno. Runner will move to third. Eric Lee is retired.
Well, Ross Ollendorf did a good job yesterday of damage control, and Dana Evelyn is going to have to try to do the same thing this afternoon because Cubs are having some good at-bats. They're already putting some hits up on the board in numbers, and they've got a 2-0 lead. And they have a guy who's undefeated out on the mound. Good breaking ball by Dana. He could use a big out right here to get on the other side of Nady. Get on the other side of the top of the third. Another breaking ball. A little bit upstairs, but no problem. Perhaps thinking fastball, got the hook. Last one worked, try another one. This one actually a better curveball downstairs. Was it Nady the last game here went 4 for 4? Had a big game against the Pirates
last week.
The Cubs are
Tuesday night.
back here.
including a home run, being a triple shy of the cycle. The Pirates still won the game 3-2 despite that 4-hit night from the X-Man. He had 4 of their 7 hits. Jeff Karsten's pitching 6 strong innings, giving up the 2 runs, and then the bullpen took over. Pirates beat Ted Lilly last Tuesday night. They won a week ago, Memorial Day, 2-1.
We're seeing on the radar gun that Dana is in that 87, 88 mile an hour range with his fastball, which is fine as long as you complement it with the other pitches. Another curveball. Good contrast there, 89 on the high end with the fastball. Off speed, change up or slow curve at 73. Plenty of separation.
That one up. 2-2. Runner Jeff Baker at third.
Just soon go ahead and get an 80 because, as you said, Marlon Byrd just tearing up left-handers. He's in the on-deck circle.
Broken bat, and Evelyn will make the play. Chicago Cubs pick up 1, and they lead 2-0. Sports.com. Ronnie Cedeno, he has decided to rid himself of the stash, hoping that will produce a base hit. This is Cedeno's look yesterday and today.
It's not the same person.
One for 21 in his last 6 games.
But that one was interesting yesterday because it preceded the Delwyn Young 2-run home run. In the bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, 2 strikes. Doesn't happen very often.
Had been 0 for his last 20, and he goes down against Carlos Silva.
Waving at this outside delivery. Better look at the slider. A good slider. Not able to reach out there and get it. You know, when you've compiled 10 starts and you're 7-0, it's not smoke and mirrors anymore. That's pretty legit, because you consider 11 starts. This is start number 11. That's a third of your season.
And here's the pitcher, Evelyn, rounding to the shortstop. 2 up, 2 down. Time to check out our PNC achievement. Against the Cubs this season, Andrew McCutchen and Garrett Jones. McCutchen hitting .565, Jones a .467 mark against Chicago for the achiever in us all, PNC. Second time around here against Carlos Silva, McCutchen and Garrett Jones. So far, nothing. Their first looks.
Andrew going to let his pitcher get in there and catch his breath. We used to play little mind games with that whole subject. Ball fouled back. About the 6th or 7th inning, you ground out and you run hard, because that's just what you do. And you're coming back and your leadoff man standing there and you say, don't wait for me. And you're dying, your eyes are up in the back of the head, and you say, yeah, right, sure.
Yeah.
Play that tough guy.
Yeah.
I'm a tough guy game, and just really want him to take a couple pitches.
One and 2 on McCutchen. 66 hits on the year, tied for third most in the league.
It's amazing as a pitcher what you feel most later part of a ball game, latter part of a ball game, when you're pitching, and you have to either make a defensive play, go over and cover first, or you have to run out a hard ground ball, because you're used to the pace of pitching and that particular exertion. There's a line drive at the third baseman. You're not used to those other types of situations.
1, 2, 3 go the Bucks. 2-0 Cubs. No chance Blast gets this one. No chance.
Well, how about giving me a chance before you make that judgment?
Just a prediction. Ball 1 on Marlon Byrd. I mean, do you really think you might have a shot at this one?
Yeah, I'm thinking of recent Cy Young winners. I've got a guess. Am I allowed to give you the guess, or should I just write it down?
You go ahead and guess. It's allowed.
The young man from Kansas City, I guess. Is that Greinke? Zach Greinke. It's going to be my guess.
All right. Bouncing ball just foul.
We got to get the leadoff man out here one of these innings. First 3 innings, the leadoff man has reached.
Terrio doubled in the first, then stole third and scored on a sacrifice fly. Marlon Byrd singled, was erased, trying to steal third. And Carlos Silva, the pitcher, last inning singled. Later, Ryan Terrio, who was aboard on the force play, he would score on a Baker double. Marlon Byrd, like the pitcher today, has found a home in Chicago. Byrd was doing good work in Texas the last couple of years, and he is hit by the evening pitch in the 2-1 offering. Talking about potential pitcher players that the Pirates might draft. How about Jamison Taillon, pitcher out of Woodlands High School in Texas, 6'6", 220 pounds, 8-1 with a 1.79 ERA and 114 strikeouts, anywhere from 94 to 97 miles an hour.
Interesting neighborhood because that's where Doug Drabek lives, former Cy Young Award winner.
His son Kyle Drabek was drafted a couple years ago by the Philadelphia Phillies and then traded to Toronto. Alfonso Soriano walked in the second. You might have been reading the last couple of days that in the history of the draft, top 3-4 picks that are high school players selected by major league teams, usually vast majority of them don't pan out, Steve. It's a risk.
And that's a change. Back in the day, most of your major leaguers were signed after high school. I mean, you didn't have as many college players signed. The major league teams didn't wait till you got to college. They grabbed you out of high school and you went. That's changed now. That's why there's so many minor league teams. I mean, there was a time when the Cardinals had like 20 minor league teams. Close to 20 minor league teams. 20. Mm-hmm. So maybe the economics come into play there, that the colleges are now part of your minor league system. Of course, they're part of everybody's minor league system because the college players don't belong to anybody yet.
Chuck Finder, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, has done really fine work over the past several days working on the draft, and another story today from Chuck Finder about the possible picks. The Pirates, again, picked second behind the Washington Nationals, and the lack of success. Teams drafting early, drafting those starting pitchers out of high school. This ball hit in the air to center. McCutcheon coming in, and he'll make the catch. So because of that, you wonder if the Pirates aren't going to be leaning, and sources say that this will be the man the Pirates get. Manny Machado, shortstop out of Brito, Miami High School in Florida, 639 average, 12 homers, 56 RBIs, 17 stolen bases, 17 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds. High school shortstop Manny Machado.
That's pretty good size right there, 6'3", 190.
Now again, Neil Huntington saying yesterday that the Pirates have narrowed it down to those two that you just saw, or third possibility, an unnamed college pitcher. Hope to have Neil Huntington on the telephone tomorrow night during our telecast from Washington, D.C. He is in Bradenton, Florida, in that so-called war room with Director of Scouting Greg Smith and a bunch of other scouts and baseball people, personnel. Neil Huntington, as is the case with most general managers around this time of year, extremely excited. This ball cracked toward the gap in left center field. Millage is over, and it will drop between Millage and McCutcheon. And the runner will be waved home. And Cedeno's throw toward the plate will not get Marlon Byrd, as Soto delivers an RBI double to give the Cubs a 3-0 lead.
And he got all of that one hop in front of the 410 sign up by the north side notch, and the Pirates got a little unlucky in that the ball did not stay, or did stay in the ballpark. If it bounces up, they've got to hold the runner at third base, but it stays in play. Therefore, the Cubs keep on running. That's about all you can do with that ball when you're tracking something down that lands in front of the 410 sign.
Hit number 6 for the Cubs. And one away. Starlin Castro, a fly ball to center. Drifting back, McCutchen. 2 outs. Soto remains at second base, his 13th RBI of the year. That double into the gap in left center. Soto 2 for 2.
Just steady work from the Cubs offense. Nothing dramatic to this point, but they keep tacking things on, and steady work also by this man, Carlos Silva, who has blanked the Pirates through the first 3. That combination has put the Cubs up 3-zip, looking pretty good right now with the way he's working.
Cubs dropping 2 of 3 in Houston. And they'll fly out to Milwaukee after the game today. Take on the Brewers. They lost 3-1 to the Astros on Friday. Ryan Dempster beat Roy Oswalt on Saturday night, and yesterday Randy Wells suffered the loss against Brett Myers. 6-3. The Houston Astros defeated the Cubbies. Saw them off. Easy roller for Evelyn, and the toss to first. A run in. Bird scoring on the Soto double, and the Cubs up 3-0. Who was the last pitcher drafted out of high school to win the Cy Young Award? Steve guessed Zach Greinke of the Royals. Could he be right? Wow. He got it out of Apopka High School in Florida 8 years ago. Cy Young winner last season, Zach Greinke.
Yeah, used to play a lot of golf down in Apopka and saw him coming as a youngster. Really, you could see.
So that's how you knew it.
Had it in him.
I should have figured. I guess the other option would have been you had a glimpse Pete Thomas pregame worksheet.
No, I'm usually not allowed to see a lot of the preliminary stuff.
No. Here's Walker. He has the Pirates' only hit, the 1-out double in the first. Strike 1. Ball and a strike on Neil Walker. Switch hitter batting from the left side.
That's getting it right. You get a bonus game thrown in. Bring the youngster out to a ball game in the sun. Major League Baseball game in the sunshine.
And it is a beautiful day in the Berg. A week of rain.
I got 3 grandchildren that are very upset. They came out tonight. We got rained out, hung around for a while, had to leave. They want a rain check. They want a redo.
We'll take care of that, I guess,
Yep.
Grandpa.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's in the books.
Count stays at 1-2. Walker, Delvin Young, Garrett Jones against Carlos Silva. Fouled off to the right. Talking about that draft and what that must be like for a young high school player. Neil Walker, 6 years ago, went through that process. First round pick of the Pirates, the 11th choice overall.
They wait for that phone to ring.
And a roller to Derek Lee. Third annual Pirates Charities on FSN auction live from the Trib Total Media Hall of Fame Club Thursday, June 17th. Keep watching. See all the great items up for grabs this year. And remember, your generosity supports Pirates Charities committed to strengthening our community. And again, that is the 17th Pirates Charities auction here on FSN and live from the Trib Total Media Hall of Fame Club. So make your way out to the ballpark if you're here on that Thursday night against the Chicago White Sox. Stop by the Hall of Fame Club and see all the great items, and you can also participate just by watching the game.
Well, you have gotten a dose or taste of Carlos Silva, and we have seen already that he has created some kind of awkward swings, if you will, players being out in front on the curveball or change up off speed stuff. And then he'll come in at 91 miles an hour, which is a very nice way to offset that off speed stuff. Well, different things to look for. And back off speed for strikeout, and the strikeout number 4. This pitch right here follows up a 91 mile an hour fastball. You see the downward motion. Does not give it away. Good arm speed. Try to get that arm speed and your mechanics to look as much like the fastball as you can. And just take the speed off right at the last moment. And he does it very well. That's a very clean looking line from Mr. Silva. He's 7-0. You're getting a little taste of why.
Throwing a lot of strikes again. We're talking about that 2005 season, incredibly
9 walks.
Well, yeah, and you know, consider that 2 of those were intentional. So for all intents and purposes, it's 7 walks in 188 innings this year for an entire season. 7 free passes.
And it comes down to a very simple equation. If you force people to put the ball in play, your very best batters fail 70% of the time. It just has never changed in 100 years. You're not helping them out. When they get the few hits that they're going to get, helped out by people that have reached base via the free pass.
2-1 pitch. Now 3-1. Fewest walks per 9 innings. There is Roy Halladay at the top, followed by Carlos Silva, Dan Herron of the Diamondbacks, and Jamie Moyer and Ricky Nolasco. 3-2 the count.
Yeah, I was going to guess Roy Halladay as being drafted out of high school to win the Cy Young, but he was previous to Greinke.
Yeah,
Zinke.
That's just foul. So you've got Halladay and Greinke. Any other high schoolers won the Cy Young?
Yeah, I did write some down here. Let me just check my notes. I did some pregame stuff because I'm not allowed to see the other prep stuff that you and John and Bob and Tim have. Checking my notes.
We'll wait.
Let's stay with the action here, and I'll be right there with it. In fact, let's get some action. How about that? one base runner for the Pirates so far.
Wow, called it strike 3. Garrett Jones talking to Mike DeMuro about that one. What do you think? Strike 3 call.
Close.
/PNC Park events. So waiting the other night, I think that was the evening that Steve was visiting Club Cambria. Strike call.
And that was not.
How was that, by the way?
That wasn't too much fun. That was 10 much fun. That was great. That was a great time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I became very close friends with Chef Andy. He puts out some serious food up there. If you want to see a ball game in high style, get involved with Club Cambria. It is a lot of fun. Especially when you're seeing Paul Mulholland pitch well, Andrew McCutcheon going 4 for 4, Domit going deep.
Steve was up there in Club Cambria the other night.
Yeah, with half a cake, half a chocolate cake. Well, actually, after I got through, a third of a chocolate cake.
Two count Ontario. He is 1 for 2. And he takes ball 3. The fans react because Garrett Jones moments ago was called out on strikes on what the fans thought was ball 4.
They want to get even.
Yep. And it's a walk to lead things off. The other night, in case you missed it, Steve Blass was in Club Cambria, and this is some of the video we had. Salt and pepper.
Well, you never have enough salt. There's Dave, my buddy. There's what's left of the cake.
Look at the size of that plate and the cake.
A lot easier to lift when there's not as much on it.
Yeah.
Let them eat cake.
We're talking a little music with Collective Soul, right?
Yeah, Eddie. Eddie and I are good friends. He's a golfer. He's played out of Bird's Foot on Route 28. He was in town the previous time they were in.
They've been on a great show. Sky Blast 1. Jeff Baker 1 for 2. vision problems you might have seen last week. Loss of vision in his right eye due to a migraine back on May the 27th.
Wow, you got some serious business going on there with the black under the eyes and those serious lamps. Didn't seem to bother him at all last at bat as he smoked that ball down the third base line.
That is some serious eye black. That's that's not Bryce Harper yet, but that's close. You see what Bryce Harper does, the presumed #1 draft pick for the Nationals later. Oh, down the. It's almost like, what's that rock group? The
Kiss, Queen.
Kiss. Simmons, this ball taps. Evelyn tosses on to Garrett Jones.
Just short of Al Joseph is what it is.
Gene Simmons. Play goes 1-3. Old school, the eye black.
I remember it. Al Joseph. Yeah.
I've heard of him.
He was serious about it.
Derek Lee has flied out and bounced to short. Runner at second now. Three-0 lead for the Cubs.
By the way, to go back with Eddie from Collective Soul, we were talking about every baseball player thinks they can be a rock and roll singer, and he says every musician thinks that they could play pro baseball. It's funny, and that is the case.
Rough bluff start there as Neil Walker comes in to take the throw from Jaramillo, almost sailing into center field. But Terrio took an aggressive couple of steps, and you see
he was going.
Put on the brakes. Maybe slipped a bit and decided better not. Fouled off to the right by Derek Lee. 6 home runs. Today he's 0 for 2 with a fly out and a bouncer to short. Dana Evelyn is making his Pirates debut this afternoon. Acquired.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
The other day from the Toronto Blue Jays for Ronald Oviedo.
And you mentioned him. I was noticing in the Pirate bullpen that there's somebody warming up.
Yeah, the Pirates said they weren't going to have a pitch count on Evelyn, but it's been a while since he has started. He threw a couple of innings down in Bradenton on Wednesday, so DJ Carrasco gets up. Evelyn's last start was against the Arizona Diamondbacks the 22nd of May. He lasted only 1 1/3 innings, and this ball will get past Jaramillo, and that will allow the runner to move up, and that's important. With 1 out, allows Derek Lee to pick up a ribby.
Gets hit in the foot, and the Pirates have been shooting themselves in the foot with this kind of thing for the last 2 or 3 days. Just giving away bases, giving away 90 feet. Gifts. I'm just getting ready to say that Evelyn has not let this ball get away to this point, but these kind of things just grate at you. You get that feeling a little bit because of the way that Silva's pitching, but this game is not out of hand.
Infield forced to come in.
But it's heading that way.
It remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Evelyn was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in 2002. He was a 16th round pick by the Brew Crew. Made it to the big leagues in 05. Made 27 relief appearances. And started 5 games the following year with Milwaukee. The Diamondbacks picked him up along with Doug Davis and a minor league outfielder in the deal that sent Greg Aquino and Claudio Vargas to Milwaukee along with Johnny Estrada. And before the 08 campaign, he was dealt from the Diamondbacks to the Oakland A's. That was the Dan Herron deal.
He needs a strikeout here. He's not the strikeout kind of a pitcher.
And Back to the shortstop, Cedeno. Derek Lee not able to bring home the run with the infield in. A few moments ago, this fan wearing a Bullington jersey did not find the baseball quickly enough, and he is furious. But later, he beat somebody else there. There we go. See, you can't give up, Steve, right? You might get a chance later.
That's right.
Bounce, third base. Crosby on to first. So good work from Evelyn to keep that runner stranded after uncorking the wild pitch. We've reached the halfway mark. This makeup game, the Pirates and the Cubs, 3-0. Oh, there's Steve chatting, talking music. And to figure out Carlos Silva.
Yeah, he's retired the last 11 in a row.
And Millage, who tapped back to the mound his first time up, swings and misses. 5 Ks for Carlos Silva. Looking to go 8-0. Broken bat, foul.
Well, how about him? How about that Jimenez from Colorado? An ERA of 0 point something well into the season. I mean, it's phenomenal.
He gave up a couple of runs but beat the Diamondbacks and still his ERA under 1. 0.93 for Ubaldo Jimenez.
He's going to fool around and get it over 1. Now, can he maintain like Gibson did in '68 with a 1.12? That was also backed up at 28 complete games by Gibby.
Ball popped up. Right field, second baseman Terrio says he has it. He's called off by Nady. Silva just rolling along here. Barely breaking a sweat.
Very comfortable outs.
He's got 5 ground ball outs, 3 via the fly ball, and 5 punch outs. Looking to be the first Cubs starter to begin a season 8-0 since Ken Holtzman went 9-0 back in 1967. Bobby Crosby at the plate.
You know, we got to look up, Greg, that year of Bob Gibson, 1.12 ERA. I think he was something like 22-9. Now, how do you lose 9 games?
That ERA.
That ERA.
Broken bat. This one's going to drop in. Bobby Crosby should get 2 out of this easily. He will. Into second base. So the Pirates have their second man in scoring position. They had a 1-out double from Neil Walker in the first.
So a couple broken bats, but we got a man at second base. Might have cost him a bat. Sounded like it did. But just to answer that as we watch a replay of that ball dying. Can you hear the
Yeah, it's the sound of a broken bat. He was jammed.
Gibson lost 9 ball games because other people were having pretty good years.
Yeah.
He probably got shut out a lot.
The year of the pitcher, right?
Yep. Denny McClain won 31. Followed up with 24 the next year.
And the shades of that season here in 2010, the likes of Jimenez with 11 wins and an 0.93 ERA. Jaime Garcia, 1.47 ERA. Roy Halladay, 2.03 earned run average. Adam Wainwright, ERA of 2.05. Josh Johnson of the Marlins at 2.10.
Oh, you got to see how it plays out for the year, but it's heading in that direction for sure, and it's not just the first week of the season anymore. We're well into it. After 50 games, you start to get a reading.
Tapped toward third. Baker retires Jaramillo, and the runner Crosby has to hold. It'll be up to Ronnie Cedeno, who struck out in the third.
Yeah, if this thing plays out for the whole year, I think then you can really plug something into it. But even though we're well into the season, you got to see how it plays out. People still buzzing about that situation in Detroit. We all do these morning radio shows, and I was on this morning.
Chopped left side, and Baker throws on. Oh no, he doesn't get him. Just a little split second maybe to try and get that ball out of his glove as he started to stumble a bit. It'll be an infield hit for Cedeno, and that'll force John Russell to call on his bench.
Yeah, he had trouble getting rid of this ball, as you can see. And then they're saying that he was pulled off the base. You can see the umpire saying that Darius Lee at the end, after the hesitation, was pulled away from first base.
Cedeno. I know what you're thinking too. You're watching Cedeno, watching that ball the whole way, and you're taught as a little leaguer not to look toward third. I don't know whether that costs you any time or not. I assume it does. But that's a great example of it there, Steve.
Yep.
And a lot of big leaguers do it, not to excuse it, but they can't help themselves instead of just busting it down that line.
Yep. Everything else is going to take care of itself.
Yeah, I mean, that can be the difference. That split second, you're looking ahead and sprinting rather than watching that ball.
You don't gain anything by doing it.
Right. So Iwamura, that's for Dana Evelyn.
Can we get some more magic off the bench like we did yesterday?
2-0 on Aki Iwamura. Fans say sayonara Pittsburgh, but Iwamura has succeeded recently off the bench, including his double in the 7th inning yesterday into the gap in right center field. 3 for 8 as a pinch hitter. Iwamura has hit safely in 8 of his last 10 games. And it is now 3-0 with McCutchen waiting. All
right, assume nothing about free passes from Mr. Silva. It'll happen. It may happen. It does happen on occasion, but certainly not on a regular basis.
Did not walk a batter his last start, covered 7 innings.
Impressive work in that game against the Cardinals. What, 2 hits, no runs?
11 strikeouts. It was a new career high for him, by the way, the strikeout number. And now 3-2. Full count as Silva looks to keep this shutout intact. Facing the pinch hitter Iwamura. Iwamura batting for Dana Evelyn, who goes 5 innings and gives up 3 runs.
6 hits, a couple of walks, no strikeouts.
3-2 pitch. He walked him, and they're loaded for McCutchen. And the game might be decided right here as Larry Rothschild comes out. Pirates just doing nothing offensively against Silva, and arguably their best hitter coming to the plate, and Andrew McCutchen. who has struck out and lined out to third.
Very seldom does it come down to the volume of hits. It comes down to when you get them, not how many. When you get your hits, as in perhaps right now.
Again, McCutcheon, who had 4 hits on Saturday night against the Giants, struck out his last at bat, and 0 for 5 yesterday. So he's 0 for his last 8. A mini slump. Everybody up.
He's been the Cub killer.
And takes strike 1. McCutcheon, this is just his second at bat of the season with the bases loaded.
And starts him off with the off-speed pitch.
A fly ball to left.
Just missed it. Got under it.
Soriano will be there to make the catch as he backpedals. Silva gets out of it. We played 5. It remains a 3-0 Cubs lead. Game summary. 3-0 Cubs lead. Jeff Baker, double sacrifice fly, couple of RBIs. Giovanni Soto, couple of doubles. A double, rather. 2 hits and an RBI. And the Pirates, a pair of doubles, 1 single. Those, their 3 hits against Carlos Silva. The new pitcher for the Pirates is right-hander DJ Carrasco,
who has really gotten a turnaround. You talk about the first handful or 10 games that he pitched for the Pirates, an ERA of 6.5, and since then 15 games, an ERA of $1.50. He has gotten it figured out as he picks it up after Dana Evelyn goes the first 5, giving up the 3 runs that we see up on the board.
Carrasco missed a few games with the tender hamstring, and Marlon Byrd with a fly ball toward right. Delwyn Young in, Walker out. It is Walker who makes the catch.
And Neil's going to have to be very aware of that whole scenario because Delwyn Young simply isn't getting to the ball.
No. A little extra pressure on your second baseman. Delwyn Young.
And he can make a lot of those plays. Neil Walker, his second baseman, can, but can't make all of them.
There you see Delwyn Young, Steve, would have gotten there, but he peels off. And you should have to say that a more experienced right fielder would come in and take charge.
Yeah. He would actually
call off the guy, right?
Off the second baseman. He's got the angle coming in, looking at the play.
Soriano takes ball 2 from Carrasco. Soriano has walked and flied to center field.
Take a look at Dylan Young's approach on this play. You don't know if Neil Walker's, he's got his back to you. You don't know if he's just hollering and hollering that he's got a beat on it.
Certainly saw that Delwyn Young was not calling him off. But again, I think an experienced right fielder comes in there and just screams, I got it, I got it. Even if the second baseman goes out there and says he has it. So
yeah, he will insist on playing well.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, once again, how the ball will find somebody that is not familiar with that particular position.
It is, as we said, it's an interesting week, an interesting couple of weeks. It's an interesting stretch for this Pittsburgh Pirates team and for this organization. Here you have Evelyn making the start today, and I guess we'll look for a grade from you, Steve. 5 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, so-so.
He didn't let the ball game get away.
Right.
I'll give him maybe a B minus.
Mm-hmm.
But again, all the circumstances involved, I'll give him a B. I didn't think he did all that bad.
Well, I mean, and I mean, you break it down.
A lot of stuff swirling around.
The Silva hit, again, a more experienced right fielder makes the catch on the Silva fly ball. It went over Young's head, so that run doesn't score.
Yep.
So you give him for that. And who knows with Terrio? Again, I'm not trying to rip on Delwyn Young. It's not his fault. I mean, he certainly gives it his all. He's a guy that works extremely hard, but you figure a more experienced right fielder,
have been caught.
You might catch that ball.
Yeah,
so
that would have been a very, very good play, by the way. It would have gotten a circle, perhaps.
But going back to the idea that this is an interesting and important stretch for this organization, you got to look at Evelyn again tomorrow night with Strasburg starting in D.C. and all that swirls around Jeff Karstens, and then on Wednesday night, Brad Lincoln gets the call, who is, you'd say, the second of the big four to come up. Walker has certainly shown in a week and a half, early, but through 11 games, he has really shown that he has taken to second base, done the job defensively and offensively. As someone said recently from another team, boy, Walker makes your team better. And that's what you're looking for from these young players. Now, you figure that the Pirates hope that Brad Lincoln, now joining the rotation, he'll make the rotation and the team better. And then you're waiting on Tabata. He should be next, and he'll join the outfield. And what does that do to the outfield mix? You figure he'd be in left field, and where does that put Millage? And then down the road, maybe not in the not too distant future, you have Pedro Alvarez taking over third base.
So you're starting to head toward a foundation that you've been hoping you could get at some point. And again, there's no guarantee what they're going to do when they get up there.
Absolutely, no automatic. It just makes it fun to watch them develop. Bring in these young players. You almost have to wonder. We've talked to Neil Huntington about this before, Steve, that he says, these players aren't stupid. And they know that there are guys in the minor leagues knocking on the door. And does that impact them adversely? Maybe.
Well,
sometimes the pressure hurts them. A snap throw to first by Jaramillo, and the runner gets back.
Well, it used to be the old theory, you want to have a good year because there's somebody down there waiting to take your job. And that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it has to be. You want your minor league system pushing guys up and many times out because you're bringing them up to do things. And that's the way the systems work.
Soriano takes off on the 3-2 pitch. Fouled off by Soto again. When Tabata arrives, most expect he'll be in left field. He could very well be a leadoff hitter. Maybe that drops McCutchen back to the 3-hole.
But it's a very inexact science of knowing when to bring a youngster up. Somebody will say, you wait too long. I've heard people say, Walker should have been here, should have been here, should have been here, should have been here. Well, you don't know if he's going to do the same things when he got here.
Nobody knows. You'll never know.
That's like scouting a youngster in school, high school or college. It's a very inexact science. You hope you do your due diligence and you bring a guy up or leave him alone. That can be just as important a decision. They got him. No,
that was very close.
They don't got him.
Safe call from Tim Welke. Soriano apparently just does get back. He was leaning, obviously, going on a 3-2. Or was that close? Carrasco's pickoff try.
Yeah, and if you bring a guy up on the other side of the coin, you bring him up and he doesn't do much, he wasn't ready.
Why'd you bring him up so soon?
It's always, you're judging backwards. And it's tough. It's not easy to know when. And it's the easiest thing to say in hindsight. A guy is on fire when you bring him up. You should have bought him back up last year.
Yeah.
Should have bought him up 2 years ago. I mean, that's the easiest knee-jerk thing to do.
Swing and a miss. Throw sails into center. Soriano will take off for third. Maybe a stolen base and an error on Jaramillo.
There you see an example. I don't know if he's going to get him or not, but if your pitchers, I'm going to do the pitcher side of it right now, and it is a mutual thing. It's responsibility on both ends. But if your pitchers don't do enough time after time after time, it's going to affect how your catchers do. They're going to get anxious. They're going to rush. They're going to try to do too much. They're going to try to throw too hard. And there you see it. But it's a dual responsibility, and you can have the intentional walk now for Soto. Or Starlin, rather.
Starlin Castro will be walked intentionally to get to Silva. But it sure is, it's working in tandem. But right now, the word is out. You run on this Pirates team. He's walked intentionally. Our easytouse.com minor league connection. Brad Lincoln will come up on Wednesday to make his big league debut this season at AAA Indy. The former first-round pick of the Pirates. 6-2, a 3.16 ERA, 11 starts, 14 walks, 55 strikeouts. That is covering 68 innings. And his presumed last start was against Gwinnett. 6 innings and a 4-hit shutout ball against the top farm club of the Atlanta Braves.
Greg, I saw him last year in Altoona. He was very impressive, and he is a big man. He is put together. He's not one of these skinny guys like a Tim Lincecum, who, by the way, pitches very well despite his size. But Lincoln's got some good size to him.
Silva pops it up. Shallow center. Second baseman Walker is out, calling for it, and he makes the catch. Cubs do not score against Carrasco, and to the bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Chicago. Ball stays in play. Ball bounces right into Village's hand.
The bounce?
Coors Light Freeze Can. Brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Walker leads off the bottom of the 6th. A belated happy first birthday to Jordy Christ. Lori and Rick Christ, the proud parents. They asked us to pass that along a few days ago. Baby Jordy doing great. Walker takes strike 1. 2, 3, 4 hitters against Carlos Silva. And a fly ball to shallow right. Nady will come in. 1 down.
Greg, I'm assuming that you're going to be thinking about me when you're on the road. I'm going to be here in Pittsburgh all by myself. Karen's going on that trip to Croatia. I'll be okay, but I appreciate you checking in on me if you could every once in a while.
Karen's going to Croatia. When is she leaving?
Oh, soon. I mean, day after tomorrow.
And she'll be gone for how long?
Oh, quite a while. Quite a while. 12, 14 days.
Whew.
I'll be okay.
You sure you're going to be okay now?
Yep, just check in on me. Get a phone call from the road from you guys would be nice.
Fly ball toward left center, slices away from Bird, but he'll be there to make the catch. Steve, I don't know if we'll check up on. Will you check up on us when we're on the road?
Absolutely. I watch every ball game. I'll be with you guys. My heart will be with you every inning, as it always is.
Now, do you have somebody that is able to check up on you with Karen gone?
Are you talking about the National Guard or something?
Well, Chris. I figured Chris. He's your son.
Yeah.
He'll swing by and see how you're doing.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
You're going to be okay. Okay, 2 weeks. Karen's gone to Croatia. Wow. Here's Garrett Jones now to the plate.
Nobody needs to check up on Mr. Silva, do they?
No. Jones has bounced to second, struck out looking.
Another comfortable inning for Carlos.
6 shutout frames. He's allowed 3 hits. And the Cubs lead 3-0.
It seems like you're down 10-0 with Silva.
Cubs needing a win. This is the final game. They'll play the Pirates here in Pittsburgh. So far 0-5. In fact, the Cubs have lost 5 consecutive games in Pittsburgh for the first time since June of '91 through July of '92. If the Cubs can win today, they'll avoid going winless in Pittsburgh for an entire season for the first time since these two franchises started playing in 1887.
Well, if you want to get it done, you better get it done the next 2 innings, because they've got Mr. Marmol coming out of their bullpen when needed. And he's averaging not one strikeout an inning, but 2 strikeouts an inning. 26 innings, 51 strikeouts. So, yeah, just shy of 2 innings, but you get the point.
And a 2-0 count on Ryan Theriot.
You almost would suspect that the Cubs would have more, because the first 5 innings they had their leadoff man on every one of those first 5. They've come up with 3 runs so far. Just saw a shot of Lou Piniella. Lou is assuming nothing. He knows what can happen. And remember when they were in last week, he was quoted saying, "I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't know."
He has used, I guess this would be the 4th different lineup in the last 4 days, but Piniella was asked about experimenting. He says, I don't think it's an experiment. It's a process of, when your second baseman's not playing, then you lead your right fielder off. And when your right fielder's not playing, you lead your second baseman off. I'm talking about Theriot and Kosuke Fukudome getting some starts now and again for Fukudome. Jeff Stevens loosening up. Ramos Ramirez sits again, healthy, but
yeah, gets a left-hand starter too.
Yeah, that batting average, Ramirez-like. He says he hasn't forgotten how to hit, just hasn't gotten the results. But that batting average, Ramirez hitting 169 with 5 homers, 22 RBIs. He had his first 3-hit game since September, this past Saturday against the Astros in Houston. Baker, sacrifice fly, RBI double, and a comebacker to the mound. Those 3 plate appearances against Dana Evelyn made his Pirates debut. Went 5 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits. What a shot in the arm Carlos Silva has been for this Cubs team. Runner goes. Another throw down. Another stolen base.
Well, we'll try to give you the angle where you can see what kind of break there was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps gives the runner the advantage. Makes it very difficult for the catcher. It makes the catcher want to hurry and forces him to hurry many times.
And Jaramillo out to talk now with Tashner. 3 steals on the day for the Chicago Cubs. 1 caught stealing on that pickoff.
Yeah, which is
back in the 2nd inning.
They call it a caught stealing.
Pitcher.
The point being, this is all around the place now. You think the Nationals aren't aware when the Pirates are going to Washington tomorrow? They're watching video. They have advanced scouts.
Ball fouled out of play. And it's not really like the Pirates are facing teams that run a bunch. In fact, the Chicago Cubs coming into today, for example, a total of 23 stolen bases, the 2nd fewest in the league behind the Philadelphia Phillies. So they don't run much most of the time, but they're taking advantage of the Pirates' woes in that department.
I'll tell you, there's a strikeout there, but it's a real problem when you get a man on first base and then he steals second base. Now you got a man on second base and nobody out. It changes the whole approach of the team that's hitting. Now they can try to move a runner and just puts a massive amount of pressure on your pitcher and your defense. You take away the double play possibility. It has a bad feel. A leadoff man is on with a base hit or a walk, but he's on second now instead of first. it changes the whole feel of it.
Well, the Giants have allowed the most stolen bases in the league, 57, but the Giants have caught 15.
Remember Lincecum yesterday, 16 straight steals.
Yep.
Going back to last year without having any of them thrown out. And I think their young Jonathan Sanchez was almost as bad.
Pirates, just to give you that perspective again, 57 steals against the Giants, 15 opponents caught stealing against San Francisco. The Pirates have allowed 53 steals. They've caught 9. Derek Lee 0 for 3. Two balls, no strikes on the veteran first baseman. Lee hitting about $150 in his last 7 games. And he pops this ball up. First baseman Garrett Jones drifting back toward fair territory, makes the catch in foul territory. Time to check out the Home Depot doing more on defense. Check out Neil Walker. Excellent play. On the double play in the second inning. Saved a run and going out to shallow right field. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Neil Walker's all over the place when he's out there in the infield. I mean, he's just all over the place.
Nady 0 for 3.
We equate range so many times to just going left or right. How about deep on an angle, straight back, or an angle toward the line, or an angle toward center field?
You know, Steve, how, aside from Maz, who I guess could do it all, including those shallow pops to right field, is there any second baseman that stands out in your mind who, when you either played with or against or have watched over the years as a broadcaster, who is as good as anybody in that? Fearless and quick going out to shallow right for those pop-ups.
Joe Morgan comes to mind. He was all over the place. Trying to think of the guy that I always think when I think of second baseman, Mark Lemke, who made the double play. The pivot is almost as good as
he was solid, wasn't
he? As anybody. He was very good with it.
Former Brave Mark Lemke. You know who comes to my mind? A Pirate who wasn't with the Pirates all that long, Steve. Tashner puts his arms up like, where was that? But Pokey Reese. Talk about mobile and athletic.
Yes.
He
all
was
over the place.
all over the place. Watch Tashner's reaction to this. Well, ask an appeal. They do, and he says no. And what the heck?
Jose Lean was all over the place. Rennie Stennett had great range. All over the place.
Nady takes ball 3. Stennett was as good as anybody before he had that collision at second base. I think 1977 that was. If I'm not mistaken, he was leading or second in the league in the batting race that year. 3-1. Nady is 0 for 3. 2 ground balls to the left side of the infield and a little broken bat flare to the pitcher.
How about one of our favorites, Tony Womack?
Womack was really good. Yep. 3-2. As you say, Steve, it's not just the left to right range. It's the quickness and it's the fearlessness of going out there to shallow right field, knowing that a collision is possible, if not imminent, with the right fielder.
Yeah, you've got to go out there and you can't quit until somebody's very emphatic calling you off. Ryan Sandberg, Hall of Famer.
A walk to Nady. Second free pass of the inning. Carrasco walked 2. One was intentional, and it brings up Marlon Byrd.
I'll tell you, a favorite Cub that I had that I thought was a great pro was Glenn Beckert when he worked with Don Kessinger. Both of them, very, very good pros. They were rock solid major leaguers. Happy.
Tyler Colvin is going to pinch run over at first base for Xavier Nady.
Born in Pittsburgh.
Who's that?
Did I say it on the air here? Glenn Beckert.
Born in Pittsburgh, yes.
Pittsburgh native.
Well, you're trying to, I think you should let everybody know. Just
well, I pushed the button down.
To me.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what these buttons are for.
This is what concerns me with Karen leading, see?
the buttons on the range?
Yeah, the talk back and the cough button. You won't have those at home to worry about, will you?
No, no, there will be no dishes or forks or knives used.
I hope not. My goodness. Karen, help. Help this man. Which button?
Well, these buttons there that says cough.
Right.
I don't feel the need to cough. I don't know if I have to push that down.
Yeah.
Talk back. Do I want to talk to Pete? Yeah, most of the time.
Liner to center. Base hit will make it 4-0. McCutcheon will throw toward third, and this gets past third. Tashner backing up. That throw allowing Marlon Byrd to go to second. RBI for Byrd is his 30th of the year.
And not that it seems to be a factor right now, but no chance for the play at third base. So the extra 90 feet is given.
Joe Kerrigan out to talk to Jack Tashner. Dana Evelyn went 5, gave up 3 runs. Carrasco 1 scoreless, and now Tashner. 2 walks hurting him this inning. He is back off the disabled list this past week. Leads us to our AGH injury update. Steven Jackson, who was sent back to AAA the other day, has been placed on the Indianapolis Indians disabled list with a right forearm contusion. He was struck by a batted ball his last outing on Saturday. He's likely to be out about 2 weeks. Our injury update, thanks to our friends at Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And they have some good people there at AGH. The best. Soriano takes high and away. Our buddy Dr. Patrick DeMeo was seen before the game. Yeah, he is the Pirates medical director from Allegheny General Hospital. Dr. Ed Snell, the team physician, is here just about every day.
And you know, we got to be honest too. Those guys, not only with the ball players, but the traveling party. I mean,
everybody take care of the whole organization.
They're around when you need them, and it just you don't necessarily have to wear a uniform number. They do great things. They're appreciated more than we can say.
1-1 the count on Soriano. So take it from us, you're in good hands with the folks at AGH. Ball rolled to Jones, tosses to Tashner. Now the Chicago Cubs have a 4-0 lead heading to the bottom of the 7th inning here at PNC Park. Gentlemen,
my evil twin Larry.
When are you going to start singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," Steve? Here,
well,
like you did at Wrigley Field a few years ago.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen.
Really?
I have enough fun on Sunday afternoons.
Well, you do the
when
seventh inning toss down.
Yeah, we toss down the promotional items, and that is a lot of fun. I have a good time with that.
Millage starts this inning off with a liner down the line in left field, and he will head to second base to start the frame off with a double. See if that doesn't get this offense jump started against Carlos Silva. A Millage double.
Just inside the chalk, and as many base runners that the Cubs have had and as much action, you almost have the idea that this is a 10-0 game. It's almost got that feel like some kind of slow torture, doesn't it?
Yep.
They just keep putting
on the
up
other hand, it does feel as though it should be about 6, 7, or 8-0, and so because it's not, you think, you know what, we got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs seem to have a chance to bust it out a couple of times and didn't. It's like they have settled for those single runs in the first, third, fourth, and seventh innings.
Well, what did we say yesterday? Brian Wilson had not given up a home run all year, and those streaks have to end. And I don't think Silva's going to go 23-0 this year. So keep on trucking, keep on swinging.
So the lefty-righty action in the bullpen, Stevens and Marshall for the Chicago Cubs. And a strike. Tyler Colvin takes over defensively in right field. He was the pinch runner for Nady. Two count on Crosby, who doubled in the fifth. Right to second. Millage to third, one away. Well, before, during, or after the game, stop by the Trip Total Media Hall of Fame Club at PNC Park, offering a full menu as well as select drink specials, the full-service bar. Don't miss Pittsburgh's own Donnie Iris will be performing live after the Buccos take on the Indians on Saturday, June the 19th. For more info, go to Pirates.com or call 1-800-5-BUCKS. The Trip Total Media Hall of Fame Club. They'll concede a run here, of course, leading 4-0. See if Jaramillo can not only get that runner home from third, but keep it going with a hit. Just foul.
Greg, to go back to that subject with all the celebrities and people, well-known people singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," it's never been the same since Harry Carey. I mean, that was Harry Carey. That was the essence of what Harry and Wrigley Field were all about. It's nice what they do now, but that belonged to Harry Carey.
One ball, two strikes. Steve was one of those guest singers for "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
It is fun. It's a hoot. It's great fun.
Two balls, two strikes to count.
The problem is the day before, when you get ready to do that, if you're playing a day game,
get your rest.
Yeah, if you don't get your rest,
take it from Uncle Steve. You want to get your rest.
Words sometimes don't come easily.
Jaramillo pokes at it and fouls it out of play.
You have control of the crowd, and if you're not a Cubs man, they turn on you. Mm-hmm. The Wrigley Field faithful. So you got to turn it around. I dedicated the whole song to Ron Santo, and that changed everything.
Yep.
Turned it upside down.
Softened him up.
I did. That's what I did. Desperation move, but it worked, and it was legit. He is one of my good baseball friends.
We wish him well. Santo back in Chicago. He left during the last series here in Pittsburgh.
Not feeling well, went to a local hospital, went to AGH, and they got him fixed up and sent him back to Chicago.
Fly ball left center field, and Soriano is there. Soriano guns toward the plate. Sacrifice fly. The Pirates are on the board. Village scores. And Safe Auto Insurance reminds you that you are safe at home with Safe Auto, proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure. Steve, now sometimes when a pitcher has a no-hitter going late in a ball game and he gives up a hit, it kind of is a letdown and he doesn't perform as well. Can the same be true when a guy loses a shutout bid?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is a letdown, but more often than a letdown, a guy who's pitching that kind of game just keeps on trucking. You know, it happens, you know, well, the blush is off the rose now. The no-hitter's gone, the shutout's gone. But it doesn't happen as often as you might think. Guys that are pitching those kind of games, a good bit of the time will just keep on pitching well.
Check swing a ball with the Parrot shooting down there. Oh, geez, he's terrible. Hold still, Parrot.
I think he's captured the essence.
Hold still, yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count.
Now we need to capture the Parrot.
Which way? Parrot? The other way. Oh, Keith Reese down there. The regular cameraman was pushed out by the Parrot. Not so easy, is it? That's it, Keith. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Toward third. Baker across to Lee. Pirates get 1. And after 7 innings, Cubbies up by 3. $60. You get a left or right field box seat, or Box Ticket Plus, the 1960 World Series Beat 'em Bucks t-shirt with a team roster on the back. For tickets, visit the PNC Park box office or visit pirates.com/1960.
Wow, what a great look. What a great t-shirt.
Giovanni Soto, 2 for 3. One ball, 2 strikes on Soto. 2 hits against the starter Evelyn. Evelyn on the hook in his Pirates debut. Jack Tashiner's second inning of work. And a pop-up. Shallow left. Millage makes the catch. Starlin Castro 0 for 2 with an intentional walk. Look at Joe Kerrigan.
I'll tell you one thing, everything is charted. When you talk about pitching with the Pittsburgh Pirates and most major league teams, everything these guys do on the mound is charted. Whether it's the pitch itself, the location of the pitch, where these batters hit the ball. Scorekeeper right there. I guess we have time to tell the story. We used to keep charts of every National League hitter, and all the Pirate pitchers had a different colored pencil. So say Joe Smith was the chart. I had a blue pencil, so when I pitched against Joe Smith, we'd know exactly where he hit the ball. Ball that's popped up, easy for Jones. And so by the end of the season, you have all these line drives and ground balls and these lines and delineation. So toward the end of the season, we had a manager that hollered down to Bob Veal, who was doing the charting. He says, where does Joe Smith hit? And Bob Veal says, fourth. So, he's trying to get an idea where he hits the ball.
Well, you remember Charlie Muse, the traveling secretary.
He did the charting.
Yeah, for a long time. And things have changed. All the numbers, the computer analysis, sabermetrics. Ramos Ramirez pinch hitting now for Carlos Silva. Another strong outing for the Cubs starter.
We also had a system where the next day's starter would sit in back of home plate in street clothes after he did his work, and he'd keep the charts. And that ended when Bob Veal was found out to be giving a kid $10 each time, and he would go home. The kid would keep the chart.
Did he go? They appeal it? No, according to Tim Welke. Two-one count. 2-2. .169 hitter this season. Ramos Ramirez, frustrating 2010 campaign. Three and two. You believe it was 7 years ago the Pirates dealt Ramirez to the Cubs?
7 years. That is hard to believe.
Down on strikes. And for the first time today, the Cubs go down 1-2-3. Head to the bottom of the 8th. Chicago still up by 3. got it. The Aspen will make you smile. Even a tip of the cap.
Never quit.
Jeff Stevens takes over for Carlos Silva, and he'll face pinch hitter Andy LaRoche. Steve mentioned earlier that you got to get it done, even though this guy's ERA is 0 in 7 outings. Carlos Marmol waits, and first pitch swinging LaRoche's woes continue. Andy LaRoche flies out to right. It's been for the most part, aside from about a 2-week stretch where he was red hot, Andy LaRoche has had a miserable start to this season. Just 3 homers, 11 RBIs. And now McCutchen, he is 0 for 3 in this one.
I was working on Mr. Stevens. Did we give the silver line? Is it played
Silver
out?
lining? No,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Silver lining for him. 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits. Walked a batter. That's a headline. Struck out 4. In line to go to 8-0. Struck out 5.
1 ball, 1 strike to count on McCutchen. One of those strikeout victims. McCutchen has also lined to third and fly to left. Two and 1. Stevens came up May the 19th from AAA Iowa. Fly ball hit deep. Soriano back and off his glove. McCutchen will head to third, and he will be there. And they give him a triple. Andrew McCutchen, a 1-out, 3-base hit here in the 8th.
And that ball carried well beyond what Alfonso Soriano thought it was going to do. He thought he had it measured right about there. And now he starts giving more ground, and doesn't get the ball in the glove. Gets a piece of it.
Lou Piniella is sprinting out of the dugout to make a pitching change as you watch McCutchen with his triple. Just his 2nd of the season. And now 90 feet away from cutting it in half to 4-2. Soriano not able to keep it. Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen. Pirates down with a man aboard. Soriano drops the shore out. The Pirates tie the game. They go on to beat the Chicago Cubs in improbable fashion as Soriano was not able to make the catch. And here McCutchen, a fly ball. He'll get credit for the triple, but you'll see it flank off Soriano's glove. Looked like Soriano, Steve, had the sunglasses down and then up and down again. had him down at the end and not able to make the catch. Better.
Go all the way back to when he was an infielder, too. It's not still the most comfortable position for him, doesn't look like at times.
Neil Walker now batting right-handed against the lefty Sean Marshall. Strike. Marshall out in front, 0-2. He has held the opposition scoreless in 23 of his 28 relief appearances.
Averaging well over a strikeout an inning. 26 plus innings, 33 strikeouts, just 8 walks. It's like a set of all good numbers.
Swing and a miss, the pitch in the dirt. Soto checks the runner at third and retires Walker on the strikeout.
Curveball downstairs. Way downstairs. And he would like to have that one back.
Delwyn Young 0 for 3. He also swings around the bat from the right side. Ball one. Delwyn Young getting the start in right field this afternoon. Chop toward third. Up with it. Baker to first. Pirates do not score. The one-out triple. McCutchen is left stranded. Through 8 now. 4-1 Cubs. Farrell Automotive League leaders. Evan Meeks, ERA of 0.83. Is third best in the National League, behind only Arthur Rhodes and Tim Stauffer. Farrell.com, definitely worth the click. Joel Hanrahan takes over after Tashner went 2, gave up a run on a hit. Hanrahan pitched a scoreless 8th inning Saturday night in the 6-3 Pirate victory over the Giants. Top of the order, Ryan Theriot. Theriot has walked twice, he has stolen 2 bases, and he has scored 3 runs. We mentioned this on the radio side yesterday, as this ball is lined into center to start the 9th inning, and he is on base for the 4th time. Wow, what a day for the Chicago Cubs leadoff man and second baseman Ryan Theriot. How about those stolen bases and how it certainly has to be the pitcher and catcher in tandem to keep the opponents from running freely. We talked about research a gentleman had done, a Pirate fan, that Steve Blass in 1970 started 31 games that year, 196 innings. Steve allowed 1 stolen base in 4 attempts, 3 caught stealings, 1 stolen base.
It was on opening day. Yeah.
And I asked you on the radio side who you thought might have stolen that base against you on opening day 1970.
Yeah, well, my first guess was Cleon Jones. Second was Tommy Agee, who did it. By the way, a pitcher doesn't do that. You don't get hurt all by yourself, nor do you have those kind of numbers all by yourself. Manny Sanguillen, highly respected in terms of throwing people out at second base. So it's a combination, but that's pretty neat. I was glad to hear that.
April 7th, opening day, Tommy Agee stole against Blass, and he wouldn't allow another stolen base until the following year, May 20th, 1971, when Tommy Helms swiped it back against him. The Reds, Tommy Helms.
Well, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a neat thing to work against base stealers and show them different moves and quick. And I had a tricky little balk move that I used every once in a while as a right-hand pitcher, which I found that it was easier to be quick by cheating a little bit.
In your career, this ball fouled out of play, you would allow 37 stolen bases. You would catch, or you and your catcher would nab 44. So you had less than a 50-50 chance, which is really good.
Well, that's what, over 10 years?
Yeah.
Very proud of that. Just to describe it, there's a throw to first. There's a way as a right-hand pitcher that you can actually make your throw to first base before you step there, and it's almost a blur. It's a gray area. You can make that throw over, and then your body is going over to follow that throw, and you take a step, and it's almost impossible for an umpire to tell the difference between where the move with the body came first or the actual throw. I could throw before turning.
Now, did you just kind of perfect that?
Yeah.
So it was an unusual move, but you weren't called for a balk.
It's a borderline balk. Yeah, it's a borderline balk call.
I'm just wondering if
so you're throwing before you turn.
If the way you did it, would you think in this day and age would a pitcher be able to get away with it? And
yes.
Here's a ball that will be perhaps a pass ball, as Jaramillo was looking to fire down to first base, and they called a wild pitch. That was a pitch out.
Yeah, and you usually expect a high pitch with a pitch out, but even downstairs, they would tell you. Jason's going to tell you he should have caught that ball.
You don't see that too often, a pitch out and a wild pitch.
Right.
So anyway, back to this.
There's a way.
This move, you think that a pitcher could get away with it today?
Oh yeah, and yeah, they used to. I wasn't the only one that did that. You're just kind of. You're throwing the ball to first base before your body turns, and that's illegal. Just a millisecond before. See, because technically the body is supposed to move toward first base when you make that attempt, and it does, but it just follows the throw just barely.
I see.
And that's the real thin line of it. It's a neat little move.
Well, we'll have to guys in the trailer maybe can work on trying to find. I don't know how much video we would have over the years of.
I could show it to him right now.
Of that.
Yeah, by standing up, you can get an idea of it. Okay, well, try to do this. All right. So you're going to a set position, and you're throwing, but then you follow just barely after. So you're here, you're throwing, and I'll slow it down. You're throwing and then moving.
Let's see.
But it's a blur because it's so quick.
Hanrahan tried to be quick. How about from the other side, maybe even, Steve, from the Side angle.
One more time. Okay. Yep. You got to hold in the boiler a little bit. All right. You're going to the set position. You're throwing and then moving.
I see.
So you're releasing the ball before you technically turn and commit to first base. And speaking of committed, I think it's a good idea for me right now. We'll be a little quicker next homestand because we're going to work on the boiler a little bit.
Work on the boiler.
I've got all the time to commit myself to a workout, a structured workout program.
A regimen. Well, heck, Steve, maybe
that was
next homestand. I mean, what might be fun to actually get you down on the field sometime early, you know, with a crew and see if we can't really get a good look at that.
Because there's a couple things that was my second most favorite move, but my most fun move, and we got one out, was in a situation.
Right.
Okay, hold
situation,
on.
well,
we got a ball game going.
Okay,
here.
yeah. We'll do it after this pitch. Okay.
But with runners on first and second, come to a set position, and when you're looking back at second base, you just tilt back a little bit so you're actually looking back at first base. And when your first baseman sees that, he will duck in back of the runner, and they get careless because they're the secondary runner. There's a runner in front of them at second base. And I know I got a handful of pickoffs.
That's a great trick. Talking to Bob Walk the other day about how active and agile and smart and forward-thinking Sid Bream was. That contact that you would have, the communication you would have with your first baseman.
And you just, the minute he broke in and back of the runner, that was your signal. Mm-hmm. And the timing was good that you could get the runner out.
So just under Cedeno's glove for an RBI single from Derek Lee. The ball maybe hit harder than Cedeno thought. Lee singles in Terrio to make it a 5-1 game. Cedeno, boy, he looked, either he thought that, or I wonder if,
I don't know if he thought
not
that
100%, I don't know.
I don't know if he thought that ball was going to come up or not, but it didn't. And he was there.
Tyler Colvin fouls this pitch off. Nady was 0 for 3 in this spot of the order. Cubs with 5 runs, 9 hits. The Pirates 1 run, 5 hits. And again, it seems at times this year the Pirates look like they might be getting on a bit of a roll. They win the first 2 games of the series against the Cubs, then the rain out. They lose Friday night's game to the San Francisco Giants by the count of 6-4. As Zach Duke lets that 4-0 lead evaporate. They win Saturday night and lose yesterday's game 6-5. It's just like they can't get on this roll. And so the homestand starts with promise, some excitement, and it seems like it's going to end with a fizzle. Yesterday's loss and today, as you said, Steve, disjointed from the start. Down 5-1.
This has been kind of a loose ball game.
Yep.
Not tight. You know, you see those ball games where the pitching is tight, the defense is tight. This is unraveled at different points, and not mightily, not spectacularly, but just kind of a steady unraveling. It's just been one of those kind of games.
Marlon Byrd with 2 hits, hit by a pitch, has driven in a run, scored a run. Down 4 here in the 9th inning, as the Pirates get ready to face the Washington Nationals in a 3-game series tomorrow night.
And those Nationals have put together a pretty good record.
Wow.
This catching
really
is
ridiculous.
It's been
awful.
Really, really wobbly. Nationals 4 games under 500 currently. 27-31.
They have lost 7 of their last 10, have the Nats.
That's basically what's taken them under 500.
Yep. Boy, what excitement there will be in Washington, D.C. tomorrow night. The debut of Stephen Strasburg. Jeff Karstens for the Buccos. There's Karstens. And a line into center. That wild pitch hurts. Makes it 6-1. 3 hits for Marlon Byrd. 2 RBIs today.
Need a pickoff move right here.
Yeah.
And just for veteran Pirate fans, back in that era, Bob Moose came up to the Pirates in the late 60s. Bob Moose had one of the best pickoff moves. There wasn't anything fancy or sophisticated. He was just so quick to first base. Bob Moose had an absolutely dandy pickoff move. And after a while, word gets around, and you don't have many opportunities to get outs with it, but he sure got their attention time after time. Bob Moose, that no-hitter, 1969 against the Mets.
Soriano chases. 2 runs in. Now this fan wearing the Brian Bullington jersey, he's missed one. He's retrieved one. And now when he catches one, hey, I've already got mine. Here you go.
Where the world should work.
Forward, next 3 against the Nationals, and all 3 will be televised on FSN. A chance to see Strasburg making his debut tomorrow night. Wednesday night, Brad Lincoln, Pirates former first rounder, will make his major league debut. Jones taps it foul. After the series against the Nats, the Pirates begin interleague play in Detroit next weekend. Jim Leland and the Tigers. A week from tomorrow, interleague play here at PNC Park with the White Sox in town. And barring a rainout or anything unforeseen, that would be when Brad Lincoln would, as we look ahead, Brad Lincoln should make his home debut that night against the White Sox. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Go to Pirates.com for tickets. Jones goes down swinging. Jones 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts. Now Lastings Village, but the Brewers have released Jeff Suppan today in the final year of what was the richest contract in team history. Brewers signed the former Pirate Suppan to a $42 million 4-year deal before the 07 season, but he never really lived up to that contract. His numbers steadily declining in Milwaukee. He went 29-36 with a 5.08 ERA and 97 starts with the Brewers. So they'll owe him the remainder of his $12.5 million salary this season, plus a $2 million buyout for next year.
Remember, there was a hue and cry around Pittsburgh to sign Jeff Suppan.
Sharply hit but right at Terrio, and Village is the second out. Carlos Silva is going to go 8-0 with this victory. Evelyn, of course, losing in his debut. We're the last major leaguer to start with a new team 8-0 was C.C. Sabathia. He went 8-0 with the Brewers in 2008. Crosby into the gap in left center field. To the notch it goes. Crosby will have his second double of the afternoon.
You wonder how this translates, Greg. Delwyn Young hit the home run yesterday to tie the ball game up. He gets a start now. You wonder with Bobby Crosby, a couple doubles, 2 for 4 day, good solid day at the plate, whether this, along with the continuing struggles of Andy LaRoche, might get him some more time at third base. Got the start today. Didn't hurt his outlook.
We've also asked about whether this might, I don't know if force is the right word, but the Pirates are, well, I mean, you've got Pedro Alvarez at AAA, and he's doing second in the league in RBIs. But Neil Huntington has said that they don't want to call a guy up just because you think you need him at the big league level. You've got to wait till he's ready. We talked about this earlier.
So it's about him, his development.
Not the major league need.
Yeah.
So that's the worst time to call up a player. So regardless of the struggles of the third baseman, whether it's LaRoche, whether it's Crosby or Delwyn Young, the general lack of strong offensive numbers at the hot corner, that's not going to force the issue with the Pirates. They're not going to bring up Alvarez sooner because of that. But as of now, that's kind of where they are. They've got those three. Russell's looking for somebody to get hot at third base. Jaramillo 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. McCutchen has 1 of the 6 hits. And a walk. Bring up Cedeno. The AGH Sports Medicine Pirates post game will be coming up immediately after this one as Cedeno comes to the plate. And he will face Marshall, but Marmol is up. And if Cedeno reaches, that is very likely to be it for Marshall. Jeff Clement comes out on deck. And a ground ball to the shortstop. Castro the toss to second for the force. And the Chicago Cubs come away with the victory. And their first in 6 tries here at PNC Park this season. This makeup game comes to an end with the Cubbies winning it 6-1.
Well, you know, this was a funny game under disjointed circumstances, Greg, and it wasn't a disaster, 6-1, but it was a lousy ball game.
Yeah, well, it really was.
I mean, you can't describe it. The Pirates didn't do much. The ball was rolling around. There was some kind of loose-ended defensive plays, and you know, they're just going to have to get it together, take it out on the road, and it was like a Monday that really didn't happen for the Bucks.
Silva is 8-0 with the victory. The Chicago Cubs are now 26-31 on the year. They improved to 12-18 on the road. The Pirates are 23-34. Our next telecast comes up tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. The Trib Total Media Pirates pregame show is at 6:30. Jeff Karsten's on the hill. And again, Steven Strasburg makes his Major League debut tomorrow night. Coverage begins with the Trib Total Media pregame show at 6:30. Tim Nevert, John Wayner bring you the call starting at 7 here on FSN Pittsburgh, bringing the game to you. Final score, 6-1 Chicago. For Steve Blass and our entire FSN crew, this is Greg Brown.